Julia, thank you so much for being time with me today and answering some questions for our Speaking Truth to Youth project. My first question for you is, what in your youth caused you to become an activist?
One of the great gifts my parents taught me from the time I was little was that no matter how little you have, you always have something to give. We were extremely poor growing up, very, very like got food from the food banks kind of poor, very poor, wore clothes that other people gave us. And yet my parents taught us service from a very young age. And so for me, activism is just about, it's just service. It's the way we act out our love for the planet, for the animals, for each other. And so that's the way I describe activism is how do we act out our love and how do we show our love? So I was taught that from the time I was very young. And I was also raised outside all the time. And we didn't have video games. We didn't have lots of toys. Our playtime was outside. And so I was always out enjoying and appreciating this planet that we get to call home. So the two combined was core to who I've become in my life.
I get worried now when I see that kids don't do that and we're missing something and they're missing a connection that they should have.
Yes, I agree. And then we see the impact of that and the result of that, that see nature as something versus this life that we share.
Just boggles my mind that we think we're in control of the earth.
We can't even control ourselves. The fact that we think we can control the planet is funny.
What continues to guide you or give you courage or hope?
I'm not a big believer in hope because that's something in the future. So all we have is right here, right now, and how are we showing up for it? We are living in very challenging times around the world. It's scary and it's overwhelming and it's filled with grief for those of us who care deeply. We feel deeply, and as a result, we feel a lot of sadness. For me, the thing I've been telling people for at least 25 years, if not longer, is that I serve because that's how I want to live my life. I want my life to be a life of service. That's what brings meaning to me. That a life based on how do I look is so empty and shallow. A life based on how did I serve and how well did I love. When we come to the end of our time, if I've lived my life asking those kinds of questions, then I've had a life that means something. The more challenging times are, the more opportunities there are to serve. There's no shortage of service opportunities right now.
And when you look around yourself right now, how do you make those choices? What things speak to you?
I'm very passionate about making sure that access to this beautiful planet is available to everyone, not just to people of wealth. For example, right now, I'm up in the mountains on a compound for an organization that I helped start. They've been doing the work for over 10 years, but they were running out of money. So I came here and started a nonprofit for them called Redwoods to See. And they take children to adults with physical and financial challenges out into nature experiences. And I just heard about the great work that they were doing and then heard that they were going to have to close a lot of their programs down because they were running out of money. And I can't do the actual programs anymore because I have too many challenges in my physical body. But I have a lot of other gifts and skills and tools that I have that I can share. And so I came to share those with this great group so that they could continue doing the work here for people who would otherwise never have the chance. They take people out into nature experience with autism, who are quadriplegics, who come from very, very, very poor families like I had growing up. That's what I do. I look for where can I best leverage the gifts and the tools that I have at any one given moment? And that's where I like to show up. And that's how I've always done it. It's like I love to cook, and it's kind of like the alchemy with cooking. Like just the right spices can take something mundane and make it phenomenal. And so I look for where can I be just the right spices to take something that's already happening and take it to the next level.
I think about you a lot and your journey that you've been on. I kind of wonder what went through your head when you decided to climb that tree? I mean, what was the thought process? Because it didn't just like, ooh, I'm going to climb the tree.
There wasn't much thought process. I just wanted to help, and I heard about tree sitting, and I was like, oh, I can do that. I don't know how to be a quote unquote activist, but I can live in a tree in the middle of nowhere by myself with very little resources. I can do all of that. And so I just volunteered. I definitely did not think I was going to be there for 2 years and 8 days, but I was excited by the opportunity to have something that I could finally do, because I was trying and getting turned away. And I just knew that the Redwoods needed me, and I just couldn't figure out how to get involved. But I'm also very stubborn, so I don't give up. When I believe in something deeply enough, I don't give up. And that's one of the things I tell people, that one of the greatest tools we have is to not give up. Whatever the issue is, whatever the day is, don't give up. And when we have days where we're tired and sad and overwhelmed, it's okay to take a rest, because we need rest. But that's different than giving up. So we take rest so that we can nurture our mind, our body, our heart, our spirit, so that when we show up again, we're bringing our most healthy self back to the world. But never give up. There's days that I want to give up. I deal with depression, and I have my entire life since I was a child. And there's days I want to give up, but my love is stronger than my desire to give up.
That is wonderful advice for all of us.
Mhm.
Specifically for young people, what advice do you have for them?
Number one, to be yourself. You're the only you that there is. All of these things on social media are about making us want to be like someone else. But guess what? That person is already out there. So be yourself. You're the only you that exists. That's pretty darn special and unique. Why would you want to be boring and be like somebody else? Number two, who we are is exactly who we're meant to be. I was stubborn and getting into trouble since I was a child. I just had to learn how to direct it into good causes. And so, whoever we are, wherever we are with whatever we have, is exactly who we're meant to be. It's just about learning how to find, well, where can I best make a difference? But we don't need to be like somebody else. I tell people, don't even be like me. You can use me as an example to encourage yourself and inspire yourself, but don't try to be like me, because I'm already me. You be you, because you're the only you that exists, and you are needed just as you are. You have something that's unique to you, and make sure and bring that. So for some people, it's our minds. For some people, it's our creativity. For some people, it's our humor. For some people, it's our ability to make friends. Whatever it may be, we all have something that's really unique. And even young people who are into sports, I'm like, great. Remember that the health of the body is connected to the health of the planet. And so we have to have healthy bodies to play sports. That means we need a healthy planet too. So there's always a way to make a connection, to bring whatever we're uniquely gifted at, and to bring that to making a difference.
You mentioned about, as a young person, you got into trouble too. How did you learn from that trouble?
Well, I had a challenge because I was in trouble for being me. I was not like, I wasn't trying to be bad. I was just being myself and got into trouble. But the lesson that I learned, I've done a lot of work in juvenile detention centers, and in even in prisons and in very difficult places. And I always tell people, including young people I've worked with who are in boot camps and all kinds of things, who have gotten in trouble, I'm like, the fact that you're in this much trouble shows how powerful you are. Now think about what good you could accomplish if you turned all that power and directed it into something positive. Like, if you're powerful enough to end up in this much trouble, then you're powerful enough to end up in that much good. And so I tell people, including young people, like, if you're the kind of person who gets into trouble like I am, all we have to do is redirect our focus. So we stop using that energy to do harmful or destructive things, and instead use all that energy for something that really needs all that energy, like direct it into something positive. And our capacity to do as much good is just as big. And so I didn't change who I am. I just learned how to change my focus.
You and John Lewis, good trouble.
Thank you, Cody.
Thank you. Have a good rest of your day. Bye.
Take good care. Bye bye.